What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got more new Digimon cards to talk about, and I, for one, am absolutely delighted. I like having new Digimon cards to talk about. Having new Digimon cards to talk about makes me rather happy indeed. Now, what we've got today is 3 new level 6s, but they're not in the starter decks. But they are for the starter decks. Now, it's a little bit confusing, but we have essentially been told they're not in the starter decks. What essentially is going to happen, according to the lovely Jason Snowjacks over on the Facebook group, and they've proven pretty reliable so far. These are promo cards, not starter deck cards. You get a pack that contains 2 of either one of the 3 when you buy 2 starter decks. Nice. Now, I have pre-ordered a set of all 3 starter decks over on Amazon Japan, because on Amazon Japan you get the 3 starter decks and you get the exclusive storage box, still in stock incidentally, and they will ship internationally, so if you want to pick them up, I would recommend it. Yes, I know they're Japanese cards. Yes, I'm totally cool with that. And we know at this stage, right? We've seen that they're bringing the promos over here. Have faith that they will make these available over here as well. Now, what we've got here is Gran Kuwagamon, WarGreymon, and MetalGarurumon. And if we start off having a little bit of a look at the stats, if I've gotten any of those Digimon wrong, please do correct me in the comments as always. We've got an 11 cost to play normally, which is not terrible for a level 6. 3 cost to evolve, which is about right for a level 6. And 11,000 power, which is about right for a level 6. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, we have got about what we would expect stats-wise. But we've also got some skills for all of them. How lovely. Now, they all activate with Digiburst too. Now, this is a new thing that we're seeing coming in with these starter decks. A new keyword skill. Now, what we were told from the translation last time is that Digiburst activates when you discard... Well, Digiburst X activates when you discard X evolution sources from the Digimon. So these are all Digiburst 2, so you get to use them when you discard 2 evolution sources from the Digimon. Assuming you've gone from a level 2 up to a level 6, you'll have 4 evolution sources, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that essentially gives you 2 uses for each of these Digiburst. It is a new keyword skill. The decks aren't officially out yet. Well, they're not out yet. So do please bear in mind that there are a couple of ruling things, etc. And we're not experts on Digiburst yet. But that is what we've been told it is, and that sounds alright by me. So what we need to do then is go one by one, have a look at these skills, and have a look at whether they're actually any good, and whether we're actually going to play them. And obviously some of these have had previous versions. It would be, frankly, weird if we didn't do a little comparison as we went along. So starting off with the green deck then, or the green card, we've got Gran Kuwagamon. We've looked at the stats are fine. And it's got Digiburst 2. Give one of your Digimon security attack +1 for the turn. I adore this. Because you see, there are certain things that we've seen in green decks, in green Digimon so far, which have helped out rather massively in terms of making them active. Now, there's a combo that I've talked about, honestly, like over and over again. It's one that very much caught my imagination and never went away. So we've got Dimension Scissor. A lovely option card that says that when you destroy a Digimon in battle, i.e. when you attack a resting Digimon and it gets destroyed, you make yourself active. And I want to combine this with the Gran Kuwagamon from set 1 from New Evolution, which has piercing. Which is to say, when you defeat a resting Digimon, you perform a security check. And not for nothing, it's got an extra 4,000 power on your turn, so it's actually got 15,000 power. So very unlikely to be destroyed in a security check. The only thing it can't take out when it's resting, the only thing that will destroy it in a security check is, well, outside of weird combos, is basically an Omegamon, an Omnimon. So I love that combo. Playing Dimension Scissor, and then attack a resting Digimon. I've got piercing, perform a security check. Oh, and now I'm active as well. Well, now imagine you use this Gran Kuwagamon with that Gran Kuwagamon, and not only do you make yourself active when you destroy a resting Digimon, not only do you have piercing, but you're actually taking out an extra security card as well. This seems like the kind of thing that can end the game pretty gosh darn quickly. And if you're already playing the Gran Kuwagamon line, there's no reason you couldn't just chuck in one of these as a random level 6, just as a one-off tech, assuming you could draw into it and find it, of course. There's nothing to stop you playing one or two of these, just as an extra little trick, as it were. To be fair, I'm not playing this over the existing Gran Kuwagamon. It is cheaper, it's 2 cheaper to play normally, and it is 1 cheaper to evolve, but it's got 4,000 less power on your turn, and it doesn't have piercing. I like the extra security attack, but I'm not playing it over the existing Gran Kuwagamon. What I do like very much, however, is that this opens up some weird combos with Digimon that have piercing, with Digimon that have jamming. Remember, Digimon with jamming will not be destroyed by security Digimon, so you can attack the stack and no matter what comes out, you're going to be fine, assuming it's a Digimon. Some option cards can still get you. Or just if you've got security attack +2 and you want to just make the most of it. I mean, MetalGarurumon's got security attack +1. So maybe you bring this out and you're like, hey, MetalGarurumon, now you've got security attack +2. You're welcome. This strikes me as one that could be very, very fun indeed. I don't know if I'm ever going to build a deck around this. I don't think it's one that I want being the center of my deck. But I do think it's one I'm going to be popping into green decks here and there. Moving over into WarGreymon, that is our black promo. Of course, we're getting green, black, and purple starter decks. These are starter deck promos. It only makes sense we get a green, black, and purple promo. So the WarGreymon then, we got the same stats. We don't need to go into that. It's got Digiburst to make yourself active. Oh. Yeah, that ain't bad. Discard a couple of evolution sources to make yourself active. The problem is, I worry about this. You got 11,000 power, which is fine, but not stunning. And generally, what you're looking to do is make yourself active when you've got security attack +1. So then you're taking out, say, 4 security cards in one go. Or make yourself active when you've got a really nice skill when you attack, or something like that. Essentially, you've just got a vanilla 11,000 power that can attack a couple of times. Now, having said that, back in the starter decks, we did, of course, get ourselves a MetalGarurumon in the blue starter deck, and the hook of that was that when you attacked, you made yourself active. And you didn't have any other skills, and now to be fair, that was actually 1 more to play normally and 1 more to evolve, so this is kind of a cheaper version of that, and I kind of liked that card at the time. But as time's gone on, that card's not seen a huge amount of play. That is not really popping up in tournament-winning lists over in Japan, which might be a little bit of an issue. The other thing is, if you're going to be making yourself active, but you're otherwise a vanilla Digimon, what you really want to do is you want to use inheritable skills to give yourself the extra stuff. So going back to the blue starter deck, you may have used WarGreymon to give yourself security attack +1, assuming your opponent has any Digimon with no evolution sources. So now you're making yourself active, but you also have security attack +1. This doesn't have that. And the thing is, because Digiburst is activating when you're discarding your evolution sources, you're not going to get that. And that could be an issue. Could be kind of a big issue, because any nice inheritable skills you've got, I mean, the first time you use it, you can keep a couple of them, but then they're going to go away after that. And that's my real worry with this. Now, we don't know exactly how Digiburst works. We've not had official rulings on it. If you can do this twice in the same turn, you could have an explosive turn. Evolve up into a level 6 WarGreymon, and don't worry about inheritable skills, just worry about using those low-cost cards that can evolve as fast as possible. Attack, Digiburst 2, attack, Digiburst 2, attack, and get 3 attacks off in quick succession. That could be a nice use for this, but I want it on the record here that I am worried that just making yourself active and at the cost of discarding your evolution sources might not be good enough. Not when we've got cards like MetalGarurumon that can do a similar thing, and can do it every turn, and can keep their evolution sources. Although I'm sure this is it's a kind of card that someone's going to have a broken combo of this at some point, you would imagine. Now, we get on to the MetalGarurumon that I'm fairly sure is MetalGarurumon. Digiburst 2. Play a 7-cost or below option card from your hand without paying the cost. Now this, I can get all in favour of. Though it's only twice during the game, admittedly, but you can play Trump Sword. Trump Sword destroys an active Digimon. Now, to be fair, your opponent can be resting, and if they're resting, they're safe from Trump Sword. But also remember that the turn they play the Digimon, they cannot use a Digimon, so they cannot be resting, which basically gives you a turn to go after them. And go after them you should. So essentially you Digiburst 2, play this for free, take out that really powerful Digimon they've just played, and I mean, it's funny for you, it's a lot less funny for them, unfortunately, but it's kind of funny for you. This one could be fun, but it's not always gonna work. You've got to have the right option card in hand. What if your opponent goes and takes this out before you've actually drawn into the option card you want? That can be a little bit awkward. Now, while we're talking option cards, we probably need to have a little bit of a chat. By the way, that's the only 7-cost purple option card we've seen. There are a bunch of others that are a little bit cheaper, but that is clearly the best use for it, is Trump Sword. Now, while we're talking about option cards, we really do need to go and have a look at Lilithmon. When you Digivolve, if you've got 10 or more cards in your trash, you return 2 purple option cards from your trash to your hand. I.e., that is going to be one way in which it is going to be significantly easier to actually make sure that you've got the option cards you want to play, which is nice. But it's also got a skill that once per turn you can play an option card and gain 2 memory, essentially pay 2 less to play it. And a lot of the purple option cards we've had are, I mean, look, there were 4 purple option cards in Ultimate Power, and there were 3 purple option cards in Union Impact, the 2 sets that have had purple cards in. And of those 7 option cards, 4 of them are 2-cost or below. There's 2 5-costs and a 7-cost. So I'm not sure if this is really that much better than, say, Lilithmon. It's a cheaper option, sure, but I think a lot of the time I'd rather have Lilithmon. I'm not saying it's a bad card, I'm not saying you won't use it, and certainly getting 2 free uses of Trump Sword, assuming you can get it in your hand, is awesome. And it is really nice for Trump Sword because, well, as a security, it does what it does. So this is the kind of card that you're going to play, hoping it comes out as a security card, and you get the really nice use of it without having to muck about and actually pay the 7 costs, which is generally not what you're looking to do. Much better as a security card, but you don't have to pay for it. So, I like these cards, but they strike me as promos, by which I mean they're cool and they're different and they're weird and they're interesting and they look good and we're going to want them, but they're not necessarily game-breaking. I think my favourite of them is Gran Kuwagamon, but I tend to lean more towards green decks and black or purple anyway, so I'm not necessarily sure if that's a fair comparison. But that is my favourite of them. I do think that is the best one. Speaking of comparisons, we might as well quickly take a little bit of a comparison here. We've had a black WarGreymon before. It's a card I've mentioned over and over again on this channel. It's one I'm in love with. It's got both blocker and reboot, which means attack on your turn and then active on your opponents and block on your opponents and active on yours, and round we go. It's one of my favourite cards. I absolutely adore it. I definitely like this one more than the promo we've just seen. And we have seen a purple MetalGarurumon as well here, although the colouring is different, so it might be a different kind of Garurumon. Let me know if it is. But when you attack, you play a level 3 purple Digimon from your trash without paying its cost, so unfortunately, I like that one a fair bit more as well. You have my apologies. But now I've shown you what they are and what they do, ladies and gentlemen, it's over to you guys to tell me what you think about them and how cool you think they are. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts, be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk Digimon and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.